Your Money and Business is made by MPT to serve all of our diverse communities and is made possible by the generous support of our members. Your Money and Business starts now.
Good evening and welcome to Your Money in Business. I'm Jeff Salkin. On tonight's program, a new form of martial arts fighting its way into Maryland and what the political battle over internet traffic means for you. But first tonight, Maryland's university system is seeking knowledge, understanding, and efficiency. Joining us in the studio tonight is Chancellor William Britt Kirwan. Dr. Kirwan, it's good to see you.
Jeff, great to be with you.
Obviously, Maryland's had tight budgets for a few years, and the push for new efficiencies is part of that. Is it just Maryland, or are chancellors of other states' systems looking at the same issues?
I think, generally speaking, across the country, higher education has had a difficult time in the past 5 or 6 years. Largely because higher ed is the one discretionary item, if I may use that term, in state budgets. So many other things are mandated, but the largest single non-mandated item tends to be higher education. So it becomes an easy target.
You can make a cut, and then in this case, the Board of Regents has to make it up by raising tuition, and we saw that for a few years.
We did. But what our board and the system and our presidents have done over the last 3 or 4 years has gained a lot of national attention, because we very systematically started looking at our operations to see how we could streamline them, make them more efficient, take expenses out of the operating costs of our institutions. And amazingly, over the last 4 years, we've taken about $80 million out of the base budget operation by streamlining, by using greater uses of technology, by centralizing certain services. And this effort has both, as I say, gained some national attention, but it's made a huge impression on our leaders in Annapolis, and they've responded very favorably to this serious effort to control costs.
For consumers of the educational product, for parents who are paying for it, for students who are paying for it, should they be concerned that maybe they're getting less for their money?
Well, that was axiom, if I can use that term as a mathematician, or rule number one, that whatever we did, we could not tamper with quality. So every initiative, every effort we made to pare back costs, control growth in costs, we first had to test to see if it would have a negative impact on quality. And if it did, we didn't touch it.
Is there an example? Is there something that comes to mind of a specific function of the university that we've found we've been doing it this way for 50 years,
right,
and we've found something better?
Right. Well, we've centralized certain services. There'd been a tendency to grow administrative function on at each of the 13 campuses, and so we brought some of those back to the center and saved a fair amount of money. We began purchasing goods and services as a system rather than individual campuses. So, for example, we have an energy contract that operates for the full system. We made a huge saving in our energy expenditures just by buying as a collective for energy. We've done some really tough things, like we've asked the faculty to, on average, spend more time in the classroom, cutting down on the need for part-time instructors. We've asked our students to earn 12 credits outside the classroom through study abroad and internships, which we actually think is a good thing for them. And so there's been a whole bunch of initiatives like that when you roll them all together, have made the system a much more efficient operation.
Is there pushback? I mean, for anybody out there who's running a business and has tried to find efficiencies, you're almost guaranteed to get some pushback, right, from some department where things are changing and not to their benefit. And just thinking about the professors. Right. You're asking them to do more with less, and these folks have tenure.
Absolutely, and you're right. This was not something that was easy to pull off, but we made the case that if we can demonstrate to the state that we are very efficient and effective stewards of state funds, we think we can get the state to increase its investment for things that really matter to us. And that has proved to be the case. We've seen significant increases in our budget over the last 3 or 4 years because we've aligned our budget with priorities of the state: workforce development, competitiveness, expanding access, holding down tuition costs. And the state, our elected officials in Annapolis have responded very, very well to these initiatives.
In this particular legislative session, which has maybe 10 days or so left in it, and until everything's finalized,
right,
it's not finalized,
right.
But how's it looking so far?
It looks very good. We anticipate getting about a 9% increase in state support, and because of this increase, we're going to be able to hold tuition flat for another year for in-state students. So just think of what we've accomplished with this efficiency effort and with the increased state support. If a student entered in the fall of 2005, graduates in 4 years in spring of 2009, they will not have seen a tuition increase.
How does workforce development differ from the traditional role of the university? What specifically are you doing?
Well, in another example of how we're trying to work with the state to address important state needs, we traveled around the state with the community colleges and the private institutions, the system schools. We went to 6 regions in the state to find out what are the needs out there. What is it that we can do to help businesses and local communities address their needs? And we heard a lot. And as a result of that, we have, for example, created a pharmacy program at the University of Maryland Eastern Shore. Huge shortage of pharmacists in our state. We're taking engineering to University of Maryland Eastern Shore because Wallops Island has a great workforce need there. University of Maryland at Baltimore Pharmacy School is going to start offering a pharmacy degree at Shady Grove, our education center there. Towson is taking nursing out to our center at Hagerstown. So we've listened to what the needs are out there, and we are responding by taking programs that will address real needs in local communities. We've got BRAC coming, and there'll be a huge demand up in Harford County. Towson University is taking the lead there in working with that community, and we're going to be bringing programs from UMBC, from Salisbury, from College Park, up to the Harford County area to respond to these needs that will come to us because of BRAC.
What's the competitive landscape like? You have for-profit competitors. I'm thinking of the University of Phoenix and similar companies, and then there's organizations that I get these emails all the time. You can get your college degree online in 5 minutes.
Right.
But then you have legitimate people in that space as well.
Right.
Has technology really kind of flattened the playing field a bit?
To some extent. Actually, I'm amused by your comment about these online degrees. I just got an email wanting to know if I wanted to earn a PhD, which I did back in 1964. But yes, it has. And I think this is a healthy thing, to be honest with you, because with more competition out there, it forces all of us to be more focused on responding to the needs of our state, of our citizens, workforce demands. And I think, we feel we can be very competitive and we can hold our own with Phoenix and others because we have a brand and a brand that's recognized for excellence. And so I like the competition, and I think it's making us a more responsive institution to the needs of the state.
And besides, they don't have sports teams. So, right?
That's right.
All right, Britt Kirwan, thanks so much for being with us.
Jeff, it's always a pleasure to be with you.